Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel, Off Grid Investor. This is Dolph. I know you guys been waiting for my video, so here I am. In this video, we're going to talk about a few stocks today. First thing first, we'll have to talk about CCIV a little bit. It was very important the day for CCIV, but the stock it held it up pretty well today. So we'll talk about that, and I want to briefly mention about the QuantumScape and of course the Snowflake and Palantir. I pretty much doubled down on this one today, so we'll talk about that. And Facebook and Golden Nugget, and I would like to talk about the Apple stock a little bit and share my thoughts on the Apple cars. I've been waiting on something different news, but I'm still waiting on that. So let's talk about the CCIV. So what happened to the CCIV today? So anybody who's been following my trade, ever since when I bought $14, first, congratulations, we have made about 300% gain so far. And I cannot think of any better the execution of this when I bought it at $14, rode it all the way to $34. That's when I initially took the profit, and I bought it back in at the $31 when it dipped a little bit, and then I've been holding it pretty strong up till now. So what happened to the stock today? It kind of like lost a little strength before the market, so I was kind of a little worried about that. But 30 minutes before the market opened, retrieved some strength and bullish move. And there was some bullish movement, and which drove the stock up to $62. Let's take a look at the chart. So here is the daily chart of CCIV. So like 30 minutes before the market opened, it kind of dipped to the $55. And as soon as I saw this, the bullish movement, so I was kind of waiting, and then of course, as soon as like the market opened, all the way went to the $62, and of course, after that, the people were taking a little profit off of it. I could see a lot of people were, the day trading on this one, jumping on this, the opportunity. I cannot blame them, and there was, there was time period, like the stock was not doing, not doing anything much, for a couple of hours over here in this price range, around this, 59 and 60. To me, what it was important, I almost, came across, to take some profit around $58, which is like right around, this the support line over here. So I was, watching carefully to see, if it drops, below the 58, because that was my psychological, like a kind of support line that I was planning on, the taking profit, if it drops below that. But of course, like the stock was, moving up above, the daily, 20 and 50 moving average over here. So, which was a good sign. But of course, like towards the end of the market, it kind of lost the strength. But even that, we are still holding above $58. So what does that mean for the CCIV stocks? Like that's $58 is very important. Like support line for me. So if there is any signs that it goes down, 58. Tomorrow is going to be very important. So if you're holding on to this one, like that's the thing. You'll have to look at the chart, and because you cannot just buy this one and just like waiting for the news. But by the way, the news haven't come out yet. So and we will have to ask yourself like like how heavy are you going with this one? I wish I could have bought some more when initially now when we they're looking at the like the the gains and all, but I mean what it is what it is, you know. But I didn't go heavy on this one myself. So I mean, you will have to ask, you know, same, you know, ask yourself like the same questions, you know. So in the first place, you know, I got into this, you know, like because of the news, and I'm planning on selling the news. I can tell you that. So you know, you'll have to have like the clear exit plans. You know, like don't hold on to this one because this might drops, you know, after the news, which normally what it happens, you know, like so think about that yourself. And let's talk about the quantum scapes. I called it out on this one. This is kind of like momentum trade, you know, like on I think around $55 the range, and it popped, you know, a lot yesterday. So if you have gotten some the gains on that, congratulations on that. So you have like maybe 10 to 15% the gain on this. But this one, I still see the bullish, the movement on this one. And this one, you have to understand, this one is solely, you know, I mean, at least to me, it is solely the momentum play. So this one also, you know, like make sure what price that you have got into, and if you're gaining, the profit on this one, make sure you don't lose money on this one. But make sure to price the stop loss so that make sure that you don't lose money on this one. And let's talk about the snowflake. Snowflake, I'm completely out of this the position. So I told you how important it is for me to to hold the $300 the price range. And it dropped, like as soon as it dropped to like $288 or so, I completely got out. Okay, because it was, to me, it was like very good swing trade, the candidate, but obviously it just didn't do the things for me, so I had to get out. But I do like the stocks in general, and if there is a like another swing movement that I see, like above above $300 dollars range, I think maybe it'll actually, that movement will start somewhere around 295 when I see it on the chart. So when it approaches to that, and I'll probably look careful on the MACD and see like how many greens like you have towards that $295 dollars, the price range. That's what I'll be watching carefully. So that's that. And I want to mention a little bit about the Facebook. So the Facebook, I told you this is kind of like the recovering play from that big dip, from the January 14th. There was like the big dip. So so I got in like to 268, but now right now the Facebook is at 268.80. So I didn't really to make or lose on this one yet. But I would like to hold on to this one a little bit, give some times on this. So let's see how this one goes. And that one leads me to also to talk about the golden nugget. So this one is, I bought it at the $18.45, and I've called it out, and I told you guys, like what exactly the price that I got in. This one, even though this one is a little bit down, the golden nugget, I know why I got into this one, and like I'm holding on to this one, and I'm not planning on selling it until I make the profit out of this one. So I'm still holding on to that. And lastly, I would like to talk about a little bit about the Apple, the stock. So I have mentioned about the Apple cars and all that. My long-term perspective on the Apple stock. So I'm lately I've been really the researching all this the news and all. in terms of making a decision on like how many stocks and how much the shares of Apple stocks that I would like to have, and how much portion of on my the long term position like I would like to have. So I've been waiting on this one. But like if you have watched my the previous video about the my thoughts on the Apple cars and all, you probably know that I was quite excited about that, the news. And as the Apples have so many the loyal customers, like they'll if the Apple car comes out, I'm sure that a lot of people will be excited to have the Apple car. And I wanted to also point out this the one analyst that said the smartphone the market to it is worth about 450 billion. And he also says the global market for new vehicles, and including cars and the light trucks and commercial the vehicles and semis all combined and all, there is market to be about 2.8 trillion. Sorry, about 3 trillion. So I could definitely see that, but that's not even the factoring, with all these integrations with the smartphone and autonomous, the driving technology. By the way, like the even when the Tesla was the building up their autonomous technology heavily, like in my opinion, the Apple was even ahead of the game at the time. But of course, they just all of a sudden stops, and because of they see how much it'll take, and they didn't have that the manufacturing facility, and they didn't want to spend too much money to doing that. And of course the building all this the mega the factories and all that, I mean it's going to take time for them, but as they do have plenty of the cash to make it happen. I mean, they have like 191 the billion, the on cash, and something like Tesla's the Gigafactory or something like that. This is something like in the future. I can definitely see this is something that Apple will be working on that as well too, if they see how much the revenue comes from the Apple cars. And of course I think they'll probably start with one or two really nice design the Apple car first to start with of that. But what I see is like the big the market ecosystems, like the Apple is obviously like they're the leading the company when it comes to the ecosystems with all the Apple the products and all that. So in my opinion, when it comes to the deal, this is going to be the huge the game changer for the future. This is something I've been I'm waiting on it. But I think the Apple is trying to go so cheap right now, so they're trying to find a way to make this happen, with as small money or the investment as possible. But like I told you, like before, if the Apple asks the Mercedes, hey, I want you to make Mercedes car, we just want to put our the Apple logo on it. I mean, no, the manufacturers or the car company, especially like high end, they're not going to do that. So I think they'll have to come up with some kind of the better strategy to make this one happen. But we'll see. But I'm very I'm very excited about the Apple car's future. Same thing with that's why I jumped on the CCIV when I first and if you watched my previous video, and you will see like how excited that I was to jump on that. But anyway, I think that's about it for today's the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you have watched it all the way through, please click the like button and subscribe it, and I'll see you next.